from Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good Saturday morning, Mid-Michigan waking up to a clear satellite and radar, but it's already a humid start to your day. Temperatures outside in the low 70s, even upper 60s for some locations here. 73 degrees in Lansing and St. John, 68 current temperature down in Hillsdale. It is going to be another hot and humid day, not only for today, but also as we move throughout the day tomorrow as well. I'll have more information coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning to Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Saturday, August 6th. I'm McCoy Scribner, filling in for Nate Salazar, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. A big weekend in Mid-Michigan is already underway. There are a couple of big events in Lansing and Jackson County that are expected to draw thousands. In fact, there are already thousands packing the grounds of the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. That's ahead of the Firekeepers Casino 400 that will run there on Sunday. The race temporarily turns Brooklyn into one of Michigan's largest cities, and fans say they're happy to be back and celebrating after a couple of down years.
Just getting to know everybody and how friendly everybody is, and drinking some beer and hanging out, watching a race.
Crowds packing Old Town Lansing for the city's annual Jazz Fest. The event has brought out music lovers for the past 2 nights, and the last day of performances starts today at 2 p.m. And throughout the day, music lovers can check out jazz shows happening on 3 stages. You will have to pay for a ticket this year. Organizers say beverage sales alone don't cover all the costs like they used to. But the folks who came out last night say the tickets, which start at $10, have been well worth the money.
As we ask every performer, every performing group to play something that they've never played before a live audience before. A new song, a new composition, a new arrangement. So you really get to have a unique experience when you come to Old Town.
Jazz Fest is wrapping up tonight. Make sure you don't miss out today's performances. There's also going to be a party in Jackson today. It's the 2nd annual block party for the Jackson Interfaith Shelter. The block party will include lunch, live music, inflatables, face painting, lawn games, and more. It starts at 11 a.m. and runs until 3 p.m. at the corner of Blackstone and Franklin Streets. There will also be a ribbon cutting at 11:30 to celebrate the new entryway and renovation of the auditorium. They'll celebrate the numerous foundations, churches, and people who helped make it happen. We'll have more on some of the events taking place in Mid-Michigan this week, but now we turn our attention to some important national headlines you need to know about this morning. This week we've learned unemployment in the United States is at 3.5%. That's the lowest level in more than 50 years. Dina Demetrius is here for you now with what this means for the economy and society.
The U.S. labor market is red hot. The economy added 528,000 new jobs in July.
528,000 is 2 times what economists thought were going to be created in July.
The July job numbers mean the economy has now recouped all 22 million jobs lost early in the pandemic.
In fact, there are more people working in America than any point in American history.
And while wages grew by more than 5% in July, that's still far behind the rate of inflation. Many workers are making more, but living with less.
A lot of people are using their savings that were built up during the pandemic to supplement their income. Now, others are borrowing to fund that gap.
The labor pool is also shrinking. 63,000 people left the workforce last month, leaving a lot of employers in a lurch. With the school year right around the corner, districts across the country are pulling out all the stops to recruit teachers. The Richmond, Virginia district is offering $10,000 incentives for new hires. In Carpinteria, California, the school district is also offering incentives. It held a job fair this week.
Districts all over the state and the nation are struggling to fill both the classified positions as well as certificated teacher positions.
Small businesses are having difficulty finding employees.
We're just getting hit all the way, and all of a sudden, we are not getting the guests to come in the front door, which is, even more concerning.
Restaurant owner Tony Stafford can't find enough employees to staff all 3 of his restaurants. But despite a shortage of workers, Friday's strong job report helps ease fears of a recession. Dina Demetrius, CBS News.
More important economic news coming out of Washington, where the U.S. Senate could vote on the Inflation Reduction Act this weekend. Along with inflation, Senate Democrats say the bill would also reduce energy and health costs, and they're calling it the largest ever single climate investment in U.S. history. And they say tax increases in their bill will reduce the deficit. President Biden says he will be ready to sign it.
This bill is a game changer for working families and our economy. I look forward to the Senate taking up this legislation and passing it as soon as possible.
Republicans oppose the bill because of the tax increases, but Democrats have 50 votes plus the tiebreaker in the Senate and can use a budget tool to pass it without any GOP support. If you're interested in political news, whether it's from Michigan or Washington, you can also get it via email by signing up for our Capitol Rundown newsletter. It's just one email each week, and you can sign up by pointing your cell phone camera at the screen right now. It will take you to the sign-up page, or you can head to WLNS.com/newsletters.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Already a fairly muggy and humid start to the day, even producing a little bit of fog or mist over towards Grand Ledge this morning. Current temperatures really not all that bad. We're in the lower 70s for us here in Lansing, upper 60s for the vast majority of us here in mid-Michigan. 68 degrees current temperature in Hillsdale, 73 up here in Lansing, as well as over in St. John's. Now, when we factor in the dew point temperatures, that's when it gets a little bit less ideal for the morning. We're already at 71 degrees here in Lansing, 67 down in both Jackson and Hillsdale. And with these conditions staying in place not only for today, but also for tomorrow as well, kind of going to be a little bit of an unpleasant situation. Because of how close our temperatures and dew point temperatures are, a little bit of fog popping up in the area, quarter-mile of visibility in Mason as well as over in Ionia. Other than all of that, satellite and radar is going to remain fairly quiet for us at least as we move throughout the rest of the day today. But notice we do have some activity off to our west. This is what we're going to be dealing with as we move throughout the afternoon and evening hours of the day tomorrow. Again, thankfully we don't have to deal with that for today. Still going to be a lot of sunshine. High temperatures all the way up to 90 degrees. Feels like temperatures will be in the mid to upper 90s by the time we get into this afternoon and evening. 82 degrees is right around where we should be for this time of year, so still significantly above average compared to that. Here's a look at current traffic in the Lansing area. Now looking at any major slowdowns this morning. That's the case across the board for mid-Michigan. A little bit of a slowdown going westbound on I-94 towards Jackson. Other than that though, pretty nice start to your day. As we go throughout the rest of today, make sure that you wear the appropriate clothing and also make sure you stay hydrated. Not going to be a very fun day, but at least make sure that you get those outdoor activities done earlier in the day rather than later.
Okay, well, thank you, Kendall. Well, so what, is it going to be warm and good weather for my walk this afternoon?
Take some water with you.
Okay,
Ice water with you, and then maybe.
Okay, well, I always ask her what the weather's going to be whenever we get out because I don't know, and she always yells at me whenever I do because I don't.
Because he doesn't watch the main weather segments, but different story for a different day.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll touch on it later. Well, coming up, find out information how schools could have handle the spread of COVID. The time is 6:09. Thank you for waking up with 6 News this morning. We've learned the CDC is expected to relax some COVID-19 recommendations in the coming days. The new guidelines could mean big changes in how schools manage COVID infections. CBS's Nancy Chen has the details.
Look at the pose. As students go back to class, CBS News has obtained a copy of the CDC's draft document, expected to ease COVID-19 guidelines controlling the spread of the virus. Michael Osterholm is an infectious disease expert.
This virus is going to be here with us in the days ahead, and we have got to learn to live with it.
While the guidelines are not final yet, we're learning some of the proposed changes, de-emphasizing 6 feet social distancing and removing the so-called test to stay recommendations, in which students exposed to COVID-19 take regular tests to stay in the classroom.
The CDC is going to say we should go back to school relatively normally with minimal restrictions, then count me in.
Michael Cornell, a superintendent in Western New York, says his students need to get back to normal.
What we have to focus on is making sure our kids experience joy, value, and connection in school.
Another possible change, unvaccinated people exposed to COVID-19 will no longer need to quarantine, instead masking for 10 days and testing 5 days after exposure.
You're done.
The proposed changes are raising some concerns, with less than half of school-aged children fully vaccinated, and the majority of Americans living in communities with high rates of COVID. But Osterholm says the virus is still evolving.
As this virus continues to change over time, we might be revising these guidelines again.
The latest guidelines would be part of the agency's plans to help Americans live with COVID for the long term. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Well, it kind of looks like a misty and foggy start to your morning. You can see that in the Jackson cam there. Stay with us. Kendall has a look at your full forecast when we come back. Thanks for waking up with 6 News this morning.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, as we kick off this Saturday morning here, you can just tell it's going to be another hot and humid day for us, not only for today, but also as we move throughout the day tomorrow. You know, thus far this summer season, we have seen 16 days with temperatures at or above 90 degrees. And by the time we get done with this weekend, it's likely we'll add another day or two onto this chart here. Here's a live look of the Capitol this morning. Pretty nice start to the day, mostly clear skies, temperatures at 73 degrees. Only problem, it's very humid outside. Dew point temperatures at 71 towards the Capitol. Some fog and mist popping up over towards Grand Ledge. Humidity at 95%. No winds to speak of thus far over in Grand Ledge. Kind of a similar situation in Hillsdale as well. Maximum winds only up to 2 miles per hour thus far. Current temperature sitting at 70 degrees. Over in Jackson, very similar situation compared to what we were seeing in Grand Ledge. Dew point temperatures a little bit lower, but still fairly humid nonetheless at 69 degrees with dew point temperatures right at 67. Finally, up in St. John, 73 degrees right now. Maximum winds only up to 8 miles per hour. We are seeing some fog actually reducing visibility in the area down to 1/4 of a mile in Mason as well as up in Ionia. 5 miles your current visibility here in Lansing. Other than the fog, though, it's a pretty nice start to the day. Again, mostly clear skies. This is going to be the situation that we will deal with as we move throughout the rest of today. Nothing major to speak of for today, at least. Lots of sunshine throughout the day, even partly cloudy conditions for the overnight hours tonight. And then by the time we get into the afternoon hours of the day tomorrow, that's when we have a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms to worry about. They'll begin to roll through right around 2 o'clock on Sunday, likely lasting as we move throughout the rest of the day. And even as we move throughout the day on Monday, we will start off with a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms, a little bit more active compared to where we will be for tomorrow. Good news is activity will begin to ramp down by the time we get into Tuesday. Now for today, it's not really the weather conditions that we're worried about, it's the heat. By the time we get into this afternoon and evening, heat index values will likely be in the mid to upper 90s, so definitely make sure that you limit any outdoor activities that you have planned for today, and if you can't, just make sure that you stay hydrated. For today, actual air temperatures will be right around 90 degrees. We will see little relief in terms of our wind speeds, only around 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, temperatures only dropping down to 72 degrees. And then since it's going to be so hot and humid, be sure to download that Storm Tracker 6 app. You get those hourly forecast updates to help you out. Good news is we do see a little bit of a cool down by the time we get into Monday, and dry weather returns on Tuesday. McCoy?
All right, well, thank you, Kendall. Coming up right after the break, we'll look at some stories to get you talking, including an uninvited guest in one couple's passenger seat. Thank you for watching 6 News this morning. Well, welcome back. We're going to take a look at some stories that might get you talking this morning, and we start in Montana. One couple came out to find their, I think we have the, car alarm, find their car alarm and lights going off. Instead of a robber, they found a fully grown black bear. It had made its way into their car. Even though bears are more likely to steal a picnic basket than a car, the owners had carefully let the bear out of the car, with one of the owners using a stick to open the door. Take a look at that. What do you think, Kendall? Would you be freaked out?
Good for them. I would not go near that car, even with a stick. The bear can have that car.
No, I think look at this too. It took like chunks and stuff. It damaged inside their car too.
Oh gosh.
No,
yeah.
I would freak out. I could never. No, not for me. I would call somebody
I'd move
for that.
out of the state.
I'll call Bear Busters or something like that. I wouldn't be able to do anything with that.
All right, well now a camp counselor was surprised to find a unique piece of memorabilia while going through some old belongings. He found a baseball card from a famous celebrity that used to attend his camp. But this player in the card wouldn't go on to play for any pro team. He would actually go on to find Facebook. That's right, the signed card was featured a 9-year-old Mark Zuckerberg, who gave it to the counselor on the last day of camp. The owner plans to sell the card and an NFT of the card. Both will be auctioned off next month.
I wonder how much that it's going for. And
yeah, I have no clue.
How much would you pay for that?
Way more than I could ever have in my bank account right now.
I most definitely cannot. No, especially for a little card too. I don't think I would.
Right, that'd probably go
just
for.
to sit and look at it. I don't know what I would do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not for me. Well,
not for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are the stories that people are talking about this week. But stay tuned. I've got another look at your forecast when we come back. Thanks for watching 6 News this morning.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, currently we are seeing some fog in the area, but once that lifts, we're dealing with mostly sunny conditions just in time for your Saturday. High temperatures all the way up to 90 degrees, but once we get into this afternoon and evening, likely going to feel a lot warmer with heat index values nearing the upper 90s. So definitely going to be a hot one for today as well as for tomorrow. Stay tuned. We have more news, weather, and morning sports coming up right after the break. Thank you for starting your day with 6 News this morning.